Hello, oh dear ones. It's such a pleasure to be interacting with you on another week, and my God, some of us have been really consistent on this program, Creators of the Future, and we have come to week 36. So greetings from Dubai. I'm here for work, and I did a Facebook Live from Dubai a few days earlier. This video is going to be posted later, and some people were saying, oh, where's your mom? Well, she didn't come on this trip because I was working all day, which is quite contrary to the kind of work that I do in workshops. Usually my work is just 1 or 2 hours, and I go to a different country for 4 to 5 days, taking full advantage of the fact that I get to travel the world, and I take my mother along. But since I was very busy, I haven't brought her. So greetings from Dubai again, and it's amazing. I love this place. Although I'm here for work, I do steal in some time to go out, and the one thing that I do on all my travels, the minute I check into the hotel, I tell the staff, I say, give me the room with the best view. There's something about the visual, there's something about when you look outside the window, there's a whole different world there, a world that I perhaps won't participate in, but I can witness, so, and then they tell you, okay ma'am, we're giving you the room with the best view, and I say, okay, first let me go up and see. So I have the view of the Burj Khalifa, and it's stunning. It's stunning in the day, and it's stunning in the night. In the night, the whole tower, it changes colors. Like every hour they have this light show, and although I couldn't capture it on my camera, and then there is, just overlooking my window, there is this huge I don't know what you call it, a lake? No, it's not a lake. It's not a pond. It's a water body which has these amazing fountain show. I think every 15 minutes there's this amazing fountain show going on. So and I just stand at my window and I watch, and I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. So this is just a tip, whenever you're traveling and you check into a hotel, tell them, give me the room with the best view. Of course the rooms are expensive, but if your smile is good enough, and if you are sweet enough, or if you're just humble and honest enough and say, look, I have never stayed in a room with a great view, so please give this to me, they will. They generally like to please customers. I believe if you ask, you shall receive. Yeah, there are times when the hotel is sold out and they say, sorry ma'am, okay, no problem, but at least try. Yeah, you might just get the room with the best view. So anyways, we're on week 36. And a lot of people, and I've taken to this Facebook Live, so I've decided that whichever country I will travel to, I'll do a live from there. I couldn't do in Dubai. My network was so bad. So even to do the Facebook Live, I had to come back to my hotel, and still, we had the network fluctuating. So while my friends say that, Priya, you're so lucky. You work 1 hour perhaps a week, and then you travel to these exotic places, and then you go on these adventures, and then you ride. I love your life. I love my life too. But it has been built by choice. I didn't land here by fluke. It's not that I'm wondering, oh, how did I get here? I got here step by step and consciously. You see, your destiny lies in the choices that you make, and you can change your choices anytime. If I don't enjoy something, if I commit to something and say, I will do this, and I'm not having fun, I'm not enjoying, I'm not growing, I'm not learning, and it's stressing me out, and it's, ruining my health, it's destroying my family, it's affecting my relationships, I have the right to exercise my power of choice and say, no more. So it's not that just because I've said I will get there, now I should go there. I know so many people who say, oh, I'm reading this book, it's really bad, but I have to finish it. Who told you you have to finish it? I don't have the patience for something that does not appeal to me. If a book does not hold my attention for 10 pages, I let it go. I can make a U-turn, and so can you. And I want to give this message to people who are just starting, students who are just starting on their career, who are thinking, what shall I do? I want this message to go to people who are looking for a career move, who are standing at the brink, and saying, where shall I go? Who've probably quit their jobs or thinking of quitting their jobs. It is also for people who want to maintain their jobs but are also looking for other avenues of expression. That choose wisely. Whatever you get into is going to define you. And I've said this before. Your work will become your life. I don't believe that there is life after work. You tell me, what life is there after work? Speak to people that you know who are successful. Where is the life after work? I also want to know. Your work becomes your life. And if that is true, then you better make very wise decisions or revisit the decisions and choices that you have made. And as much as, the success that comes to me, or I would say this world that has opened up to me, let me tell you, it was not easy embracing this. See, I came from a lower middle class background when I started my career. This was donkeys years ago. We had never been to a 5-star hotel. We had never been to a fancy restaurant. Itne paise hi nahi the, we used to go eating outside, but it was generally Elko Market. If you know Bombay, Elko Market in Chandigarh, there was sector 17, and we used to go only every Sunday to have an ice cream. I don't remember eating dinner or lunch outside. For us, dinner or lunch outside was at friend's house or relative's house and so on. And then I became a motivational speaker. And my first workshop ever was at the Taj Nasik. Okay, the Taj. I had never eaten or drank anything at the Taj. We used to go to the Gateway of India, and we used to go to the Taj to go to the toilet. And my first ever workshop was at the Taj Nasik. And I remember the night before I was supposed to travel, I fell sick. It's like, oh my God, it's such a big overwhelm. It's not that you went to a good restaurant or you go somewhere, right? From zero to living in the Taj, So I went there, and this was the first time in my life I was sleeping in an air-conditioned room. I was so cold. I felt so sick. I could not sleep in the night, and this mattress was so soft and the pillows were so soft, and we hardly had a mattress at home, and the pillows were so hard, and I was used to sleeping like that. When you change your bed, it's not easy to go to sleep. So it was really, really tough. And while my friends would say, wow, you stayed at the Taj and you spoke to so many people, and I'm thinking in my head, what do you know what I went through? I woke up in the morning and I fainted because I had already not had, I was already nervous the day before. I had traveled all night, then I couldn't sleep all night, and now I have to go and motivate people, and I did it. And I remember my first ever international travel for a workshop was Maldives. Ab le jao. I grew up in Chandigarh. All I'd seen was Delhi and Bombay. We had never gone anywhere else, around Bombay, not even around Bombay. We never went to Lonavala or any other place because we didn't have the luxury of holidays and going on trips and so on. And the first international trip is Maldives. Now, Maldives is aspirational. It's a holiday destination for people, and at that time, it's like going to Maldives. It's like you must be somebody. I land there and I'm overwhelmed with the sea, the colors, and I tell you, I had to control myself, and be this person who is sorted. And yeah, this is an everyday life, because now you're going to speak to participants. It was so difficult, I cannot tell you. Like that overwhelm sometimes gets in your way. When you have your mind is blown apart, when your brains can't digest anymore, where have I come? And then you start to question, am I really that good? Do I really deserve this? I'm in this place and I didn't have money to spend, so I remember I used to go for breakfast and take 2 extra buns. What if I'm hungry later? And while these people think I'm extremely successful, I don't think I can call for room service and do all of these things. So it was what an experience. But I tell you this in all humility, that as much as my career option, my career choice, my career direction gave me this platform of glory, gave me this platform that जी ले अपनी जिंदगी kind of stuff. But there is a heavy price to pay, and that's what I want you to consider, because my career has become my life. I mean, I work 24/7. I have no work-life discipline because my work is my life, but it is built on pillars of a very huge price that I have learned to pay regularly. It's not a price you pay in the beginning. If you want to continue in this zone, on this platform, the price also gets bigger and bigger and bigger every single time, okay? And you, no matter what career you're in, you are paying a price. It's better you know the trade-off, the price and the life. And life means work, because work is your life. Let me give you an example of the price that I'm paying, and I want you to consider this. You know, like my life is no longer normal or ordinary. Hey, nahi. You know, like for instance, you know, abhi to I have slowed down a bit. You know, I don't do the kind of runaround work that I used to do 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was out of the house for 22 to 26 days. Like I would come home, leave one suitcase, take another, and sometimes my team would carry my suitcases to another location. Now imagine this. As much as that is amazing, as much as that is good for my bank, as much as that is good for my financial security, but consider this. I work in the day, I travel to the airport, I take a flight, travel in the night, land in the morning, speak again. In the evening, pack my bags, again take a flight, perhaps I'm on the road, I'm not sleeping, I'm traveling, I'm eating out, you know, I'm going to different cities, I'm staying in different hotels, on different beds, and you have to know the value of good sleep. So it's tough. It is so tough. I remember there was one time I had been traveling for 5 days. My production manager was sick, and I was looking at him and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot afford to be sick, you know. And then he said, you know, that I have to go back because he was so sick. So he went back and another person came to replace him. In 2 days, he fell sick. He went back and another person came to replace him. But I was a common factor. And look, whether I have a headache, whether I've not slept well, whether I've been traveling, whether I have an upset stomach, whether, you know, I am thinking that I haven't seen home, I haven't been home, I have to stand there despite all personal challenges. And you know, lack of sleep is a great barrier to overcome, especially when you're on the 5th day. 1 day without sleep, you can pull it off. Okay, 2 days without sleep, you can still maybe not pull it off. But a week into like 4 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, and still stand there, you know, with your makeup on to get all the dark circles out, with a smile, and deliver to a standing ovation, there is behind it a very big price that you're paying. I remember I went to Nepal one time, okay, and I did a workshop and I was horribly sick, okay, and you know, because I can't afford to fall sick, I'm a health freak, you know, I have these supplements and I have things going for me. And I remember I finished my workshop and I prayed to the Lord. I said, "Is bar sambhalo." You know, Pir, I will do anything. Have you ever been in such a crisis where you will lose big time and then you're praying to the Lord just one time, and then, you know, later again there's just one time, and then again there is just one time, you know, and like those one times I've had many times. So I said, just this one time, okay. And I remember the workshop got over and everybody clapped and said thank you very much, and I could already see things moving, you know. I just survived till the end, and I'm just about to step away, hand over the mic and step away, and the event guy, the person who was managing the whole thing, he says, "Priya, your session was so amazing. Does anybody have any questions?" अभी जवाब कहाँ से देंगे, मुझे तो दिख भी नहीं रहा है. My legs are shaking inside my trousers. What are you talking? And just when I said thank you God, he says, now let's have a Q&A. Okay, now if you have ever been to my workshop, I do not sit. I'm always standing. Whether it's the whole day, I can't sit. You know, it's like I'm on the job like a sentry. I'm on the job like a sentry. I will only sit when I'm done. You know, I will eat when I have earned earned it, that नहीं तो शायद लोग ही टमाटर मारेंगे और वो खाने पड़ेंगे. I don't eat also. You won't see me eating. Yeah, of course I have coffee and so on. अब वो भाई साहब बोलते हैं कि Q&A कर लो. Q&A कहाँ से करेंगे? And there was this chair close by. I dragged the chair and I sat on it. And my team is standing in the back and looking at me. She sat down. That is equal to she's dead. Okay, and I sit down and I do not remember what question people asked me. I do not remember what I answered. It's some other force that took over, and it was how I pulled it off, I cannot tell you. And look, you have to make sense. Uske baad I stepped out of the hall and I was holding my laptop. Okay, I had this, they had just come up with these mini laptops that time. So I'm holding my laptop, I come out, I step out of the hall and I collapse, and my laptop goes down the stairs. It's broken, and my team is looking, they don't know now what to do, and in a jiffy they just picked me up, whisked me away. Kisi ko kano kan khabar bhi nahi hui that I was that sick. You see, that's the price that I pay, that I have to overcome personal odds. These are places where people take leaves. I cannot call a client and say, oh, I'm sick today, I cannot come. That'll be the end of my career. All I have to do is not show up once, and that's the end of my career, I will tell you. In my 18 years, in my 20 years actually, not just 18, in my 20 years career as a motivational speaker, it's only one time, very recently, when I had such severe typhoid that I could not go for the workshop. And I know this, that I would lose that client forever, because it's a part of the contract that you have to show up, and not just show up, do the job that is expected, or do the job deliver more than is expected. And that is tough because it's live. It's not a recorded video where I can edit. It's a very, very heavy price to pay. You don't do well once, you will lose 50 other clients, because they will tell each other, hey, don't call this person, he or she is not good. You can't afford that. It's not being at a job that end of the year there's a review. Every single time that you go on stage and talk, there's a review. Was it worth it? Was it worth the investment? Did she make sense? Did the people enjoy? Did the message come clear? Do we see a change in the organization? Shall we call her again, or shall we ban the person? You see, that is high stakes. And to know that, I think, is an agreement that I have with myself, that I'm okay with it. I'm okay to deliver despite all of that. You want to be a motivational speaker? Can you do this? Can you, despite all odds, stand up and inspire people without them having one clue what it took you to get there and do that? And that is personal victory. You could say price, you could also say personal victory. Okay, I mean, to the point that I'm considered inhuman. I cannot afford to even tell my problems to people. I don't tell my problems to people. I hear people's problems, but there's not a single soul who knows what's going on in my heart. You know why? Because there used to be times when I would say, oh, aisa ho gaya, waisa ho gaya. And you know what answer I would get back? Hey, you're a motivational speaker. Tum to logon ko samjhati ho. Tumhe itni samajh nahi hai. And I realize my profession is working against me, that I'm expected to be on top of my game all the time. There is a friend of mine in Dubai, and he got an award from the president, okay, in India. He got the president's award. And I said, wow, man, this is like a lifetime achievement. He says, मेरी तो life बर्बाद हो गई वो president का award लेके. I said, why? He said, I come home and I have a tiff with my wife, and she says, इसलिए दिया तुम्हें award. उनको पता है तुम अपनी बीवी के साथ ऐसे बोलते हो. He's like, now that award she uses against me, saying that this president has no idea who you really are. So that's the price that you pay. So the point I'm trying to make with all of this, you guys are week 36 into the program. Some of you are just starting out. Some of you are trying to make a change. It would be good to reevaluate right now while you're, little bit, 4 months into the journey. How's it going? What is it costing you? What is the price of the life that you are planning to build, is it backfiring on you? Does it make you happy? See, in all of that, I got stories to tell. I would tell people, oh, this is what happened, but I did it. As much as it seemed like it's working against me, but actually it was working for me, because I was overcoming all of that. And I know today, standing, that no matter what happens, at least I will deliver to you what I committed. Uske baad phir jo hoga dekha jayega aur kuch nahi hota. Everyone falls sick, everyone recovers. I don't know anybody who's never fallen sick, but I was on the job. I delivered. I did not step back. I also recovered. They also recovered, but I still did the job. I did not step back. I did not take a leave, and that is my personal victory over than the other guy who fell sick and other people were inconvenienced because of him. So that price also is a great matter of pride for me. Now you sit and evaluate. How is your goal working out? How is your life working out? It's good to make that evaluation now while you're still into it, but not to the point of no return, because one day you're going to reach there and you don't want to look back and say I wasted a year. Like this was a few years ago. I was offered the job in an aspirational company. I mean, that company today is aspirational, as a CEO. Okay, and at that time the kind of salary that I was offered was 4 times the money that I was making. And I said, oh my God, CEO means it's a different life. You have to show up at work at 8 and perhaps never leave, never leave for 3 years. It's a tough job. And I was like, what to do? The money is great. It was a 3-year contract. It was 5 years. I negotiated it to 3 years. It was a 3-year binding contract. And I said, okay, in 3 years, I could have enough money and then I could do whatever I wanted to do. And the only thing that came up was a conversation that I had with another friend who was a CEO. Okay, in fact, I have a lot of friends who are CEOs, and I will tell you, I would get money and financial security, okay, for a long time. All right, now that is important. It's important to somebody like me. It's important to a lot of people. Sometimes our decisions are based on that financial security. That 3 saal ki to baat hai. My whole family told me, it's okay, Priya, you'd get more experiences, you'd get more stories, and perhaps you would have more credibility as a CEO of an organization, which would add more value to your motivational speaking later, and look at the kind of money you would make. But what was the price? I would lose my freedom. I mean, even then, it's a choice how much I want to work. It's amazing. Even though I go to a place, my work is just an hour or 2 hours, I would lose my freedom. I mean, that for me is the biggest thing. I will not surrender my freedom for anything in the world. Another thing, I don't like asking for permission. I just do it. I make decisions based on my own judgment. I don't go asking people for permissions and advice and suggestions. I am okay to fail and make a mistake and be wrong, apologize, learn and grow. Okay, it's not a part of my personality, and I'm a risk taker. I will go out and be willing to lose. But look, I can't do this anymore in the position of a CEO. Perhaps not. I'll be sitting there answerable to the board. I'm not answerable to anybody. It's not a part of my DNA. I do it my way. My mother calls me Manmoji, and somehow she says, you're blessed by 100 gods that whatever you do works. So I did the evaluation. The money was amazing, but I had a very, very heavy price to pay, where I didn't see growth, where I didn't see fun, where I didn't see love, where I didn't see myself, in light that, wow, that's the kind of person I would be. And then I had conversations with my friends who are CEOs, and they said one thing. They said, Priya, I love your life. Your life is what I want to have after I retire as a CEO. Suno ye baat. They want my life as a retirement plan, which means after they have done what they had to do, now they want to really do what they want to do. I was living their dream life already with 1/4 the money. And I made a decision. This is my work and this is my life. It's not just work. The money I will make, maybe it will take me 3 years to get there to that kind of income, but it will still be worth it. And who's seen 3 years later? I don't know who I would become. I don't know the kind of human being that I would become. I am because of what I do. And when what I do changes, I become somebody else. And that's the truth for everybody. So we are into week 36 of the program. Take an evaluation. What is the price that you're paying? What is the kind of life that you have? Are you happy? Is it serving you? Is it giving you that kick to overcome even though there are a million challenges? How do you sleep? Are you afraid? If you're afraid, that is good. Have you grown a little bit? Have you grown by leaps and bounds? Are people telling you that you're different? Are you happy different? Take an evaluation. It's not too late to say, oops, maybe wrong track, so what? And if you're starting out, please do a little bit of homework. It's going to be over one day. Did you have fun? Did you grow? Did you travel the world? Did you really express what you wanted to? Did you achieve everything? Your work holds the potential of that basket: name, fame, the world, the people, the expression, the love, the overcoming, the growth, the spiritual evolution. Everything, every job holds that. Can you decode it for you? Can you turn that key? But it also comes with a price. I hope this helps. And oh, by the way, before you leave, before I leave actually, sign you off, you have to buy my 9th book. It's called The Wise Man Said. It is such a good book. This is a dummy copy. The book has still not come from print. It is going to come by the time the video is uploaded. And it's an amazing book. My boarding passes are here. I was reading it on the flight because I really love the stories. It's a collection of 12 stories. And whoever has read the book, when they end it, they're like a fish out of water and say, Priya, I got addicted to it. I got addicted to reading these stories. Now I want more. And I have 8 other books which I have already written. And if you've already read them, my 10th book will be out soon. It's already into designing and soon will go into print. So The Wise Man Said is my 9th book. And if you pre-order it on Amazon or my website, you get a free quotes book. I would recommend, please buy it for all your friends. That would make me a very happy author. You see, I started my own publishing house, Books That Inspire, and this is the publication of my publishing house. So I have a very steep target to continue to afford to write and print books. So please buy as many as you can and gift it, and I will tell you, your friends will thank you for it, and I will personally sign it. I have all the time in the world. I told you I work just 1 hour. Yeah, so it's such a pleasure to be connected with you. I know it's a rather long video, but I talk for a living. I'm a woman, I get paid to talk. Ab kya kare? All right, so I will stay in touch. I'm committed to your success. I have great admiration that you're still here with me. Now that's something, and I like that. Even if it's just 2 of us left at the end of the year, I want 2 people like me. So thank you for being connected, and I cannot say that enough. And until next Friday,